Hello? My mic working?
Can you turn the lights off? Or like dim them a little bit? Thank you.
Let me just double check that the mic's working.
Live stream mic is working.
What about this mic? How do I mute it again? Unmute it?
I think it's on. Can you try talking into it?
This. Hello, hello. I don't.
Is the audio working?
Can you hear me just fine? Can you hear me? Yes. Perfect.
Do we have another? You have to hold close.
Which is why I want to remind everyone to come to Infos. It's the place to be. We've got really talented secondary volunteers that'll take you right through it. Come with any questions, we're so happy to help. Yeah, happy coding.
Can you turn the lights all the way down?
Okay, yeah.
Oh. All right, can everyone hear me just fine? Are we all good? Thank you so much for coming. So this talk is going to be somewhat theatrical, maybe, I don't know. It's going to be somewhat like half of it is scripted. I'll be reading off a script, and some of it I'll improvise, so yeah, do understand. Anyway, I'm going to start my talk soon. And I want to start my talk with a bit of spoken word. Yeah, it's a CompSoc talk. A thick fog covers the Lei Yumun Strait, hiding much of the sea. Now and then, a town peeks out, its form soft, almost forgotten, but still it longs to be. In the haze, you see the fishing boats, endless rows filling the harbor, like shadows, like whispers, like memories adrift, the fog lifts. Just for a moment, and the outlines emerge. Weathered tenements, cracked shutters leaving into narrow streets. Alleyways tangled with stalls, makeshift homes clinging to the hillsides, winding up to the ridges where mist meets sky, and the boats below, bobbing in the bay, fade one by one into the fog. Growing up, life in Hong Kong followed a steady, comforting rhythm that felt both constant and familiar. Every day seemed to have moved in its own predictable way, flowing from 1 hour to the next, marked by routines I knew by heart. My school sat near the coast, tucked away by the beach, and during lessons, I would often find myself gazing out of the window into the shimmering reflection of the sunlight onto the sea, lost in thought, wondering about the world beyond. Everything outside seemed so still, while life inside always kept moving. By the time school let out, the sun was sinking low, casting a faint orange glow on my skin as I made my way to the bus stop. And as I arrived at the heart of the city, the sky was already in a shady, dusky blue. But even then, my day wasn't over. When I arrived home, my Filipino nanny would have dinner ready for me, a common scene in many Hong Kong households where parents, too busy at work, left the upbringing of their children to foreign domestic workers. In the background, I would hear the familiar sounds of Filipino televangelist preaching from the kitchen, an echo of the same sermons simultaneously broadcast from Manila to Hong Kong to Saudi Arabia, following the journeys of countless overseas workers. As I sat at the dinner table, I would gaze out of the living room window, watching as a deep blue sky darkened into an inky black. Sprinkled with the distant glimmer of city lights across Victoria Harbor, The lights, coming from thousands of living room windows, stared back at me, silent and unreachable. I wondered what was going on in each of those windows, each of those lives. But my day wasn't over. My evenings were often spent rushing from place to place, piano lessons, cram school, illuminated by the orange glow of sodium street lamps and the aging neon signs. I was shuttled through a forest of concrete. The view passed by too quickly to appreciate, but I would always glance out the window, out of the bus, dreaming of the day when I could finally slow down and take it all in. But with all this rushing around, there was no time to breathe. Hong Kong felt like a machine, an efficient, well-oiled machine where everyone plays their part, fulfilling their role in this never-ending cycle of progress and success. There's no room for stillness, no room for stopping to appreciate the view. We're always taught to keep on moving, keep pushing, because there's always something more you can do, something more you should be achieving. Every weekend, I would visit my grandparents, who lived just 20 minutes away. Grandpa often shared stories of the Shiu Ka Heng, painting a picture of a time long gone. He spoke about life as a humble mechanic, working on the streets where everyone knew each other and where raising 5 children in a tiny single-room apartment was the norm. He reminisced about how tightly knit they were with the neighborhoods, borrowing salt, even water during shortages, and how my uncle and his friend next door would duel with their toy pistols across their third-floor windows. I was astonished when he told me that the street I walked past every day, now surrounded by towering high-rises, used to be the coastline. From there, you could see endless lines of fishing boats, homes to Sarusarnyan, or people of the water. Their boats were their entire world, their living room, their bed, their livelihood. Sambans, or small flat-bottom boats, served as floating grocery stores and even restaurants, offering freshly made noodles with a broth rich in umami, made from sun-dried flounder, weaving through the transient alleyways formed by 1,000 fishing boats. Saogewan was a coastal town. The shore was lined with tonglao, or Edwardian-inspired tenement buildings, some of which were still being rebuilt from the aftermath of World War II. Looking deeper into Shiu Ka, we see a sprawling slum that crawled from the hill at the edge of the town to as far as your eye can see. This was a neighborhood formed by a melting pot of migrants fleeing the Chinese Civil War. These were merchants, academics, peasants, and even exiled officials coming from Guangzhou, Fujian, and even Shanghai, all living under cramped tin roofs. Hearing these stories shocked me. The neighborhood that I had grown up in, the one I thought I knew, was once so vibrant, alive, and dynamic. This revelation sowed a seed in me, a desire to learn more about my community and Hong Kong's history. Where did all these places go? The slum villages that once carpeted the hills, now demolished and rebuilt as a cluster of 30-story tall apartment buildings that all looked like genetic clones. The fishing village, now more like parking for the few fishing companies that still operate in the area. Most of the Sarusarnyan have migrated ashore. But was there really nothing left? Though most of the fishing boats had disappeared, the sea still roared as it always had. Along with the waves stood the granite breakwaters that protected the boats during typhoon season. I remembered my grandpa telling me that the Sarusarnyan once hailed sambans like taxis to return to their boats. To my surprise, I heard that some were still in operation. I was in disbelief because I grew up next to this haven, and I thought I would surely know if they were still there. So I ran to the haven, hoping to see them for myself, and eventually I spotted an old man hail, exactly as my grandpa had described. They had been hidden in plain sight all along. Their services weren't advertised. It was simply understood by those who knew the practice from centuries past. I decided to hail one myself. The helmswoman, a wrinkly woman in her 70s, asked where I wanted to go, and before long, I was drifting towards the breakwater. Once on the breakwater, the old man had vanished into the distance. Climbing the concrete stairs to its peak, I found a shoddy temple dedicated to Tinhao, or the goddess of the sky, the deity the Sarusarnyan prayed for a safe passage to the open seas. Standing alone in the open air, I felt for the first time that I had space to breathe in urban Hong Kong. Behind me, the remnants of the fishing community, and before me, the towering cranes of a new seaside development looming in the distance. In this moment of solitude, the distant sound of the city felt muted, and I found myself truly immersed in the space between past and present. A faint rustling broke the silence, and I noticed a few cats peeking out from between the granite rocks, silent guardians of this forgotten place. That's Act 1. That's like the introduction context to my project. Sorry for being long-winded about it. And so, as I grew up, I picked up, CompSci. I started with toying with Photoshop, After Effects, Blender, just 3D graphics, and then eventually Python. That's how I started computer science. But all this time, I've kind of kept my love for exploring older parts of Hong Kong. And I just, went to wander in these older districts and tried to figure out what happened in these spaces, trying to understand these communities, meeting people who actually lived there from the olden days when life was very different. And one time, I was walking in an area in Hong Kong called North Point. It was actually part of my commute every day to the central parts of the city. And I just randomly paid notice to this building. In fact, this building is something that I've passed by for really many, many, many times in my life. But what I really found intriguing about the building was how it was covered up in signs. I literally couldn't see what's going on in here. It just looks like a billboard to me. And so I went in there to try to investigate. And so I found its entrance, which is on the side. And as I went deeper and deeper, I found it was almost like a cave. It was almost like its own enclosed space, frozen in time. There, I found many shops that had kept their ways of living, that had kept their businesses as it had for the past 30, 40 years. This guy who made signs using no tools than just hands, cutters, and some LEDs. And there's also this very traditional tailor shop where it's actually, a pair of brothers operating in this space for the past 40 years. And also a bunch of Chinese aunties playing mahjong, which is very typical. But it just felt it felt like it contrasted so much with the exterior environment, where the rest of North Point is experiencing so much redevelopment. We see new development, new estates popping up here and there. And I find the space that's it's almost like a snow globe that has captured this moment in time so perfectly. And I kind of fell in love with it. And when I did more research, apparently this building is called the State Theater. And back in the day, it used to be one of the prime destinations for shows in Hong Kong. It hosted a lot of famous celebrities, and it's kind of an upmarket place. But due to mismanagement, it eventually switched from being a theater where they actually had acts on to being a cinema theater where they showed movies. And by the 80s, they kind of were outcompeted by chain cinemas, and it actually looked really nice back in the day. And eventually, it fell out of maintenance, and it arrived in its state here today. And the theater has been abandoned. It's just the malls below that were kept as it was back in the day. And more than that, what I read was that apparently this building had an expiry date. Some real estate developer, this real estate mogul, decided that, we're gonna redevelop this into a new, really posh mall, really upmarket, and we're essentially gonna do it. They market it as if they're gonna do cultural preservation. They say that they wanna, keep the building's appearance, but obviously that wouldn't be something that these developers have in mind. And so I felt this sense of urgency that I really want to keep the stories in there. And as I reflected back to my other interests in computer vision, computer graphics, I recalled of a method for 3D scanning called Photogrammetry, which allowed you to capture 3D structures without any special equipment. And back then, as like just some random kid in high school, like having a camera isn't hard. And I thought, what if we used this technique, which normally is used to capture smaller objects, and expanded it into capturing whole buildings? And how would that look? So I'll quickly run you through what photogrammetry is and how it works. Photogrammetry, if I'm going to define it really easily, like it's simply like a task where you're given a bunch of pictures of the same object from multiple perspectives, and you try to reconstruct the object's 3D geometry. And at the same time, you also gain back the camera's parameters. Like in the picture in the background, you see that we actually know where the cameras are situated. We know what the parameters of the lens are, which includes things like lens distortion, like focal length, etc. But the basic math of it is actually like really interesting. We start off with a bunch of photos. We have no extra information other than just pictures and pixels. And through an algorithm called SIFT, we first off pick some points of interest that are easily recognizable, which we call feature points. After we found feature points, we'll do a step called feature matching, for which we could have the computer recognize which points correspond to which other points in other pictures. So we have like a data set of each of these individual points in 3D seen from different perspectives. And after this, we run a step called bundle adjustment, for which we can reconstruct the point's 3D positions in space, as well as where the cameras are and the camera's parameters. But as you can see, like if we only rely on these feature points, it's really sparse, which means like we only get a few points in the space, and it doesn't really allow you to reconstruct a really fine, really detailed model. And so after we reconstructed the camera's positions, we run the next step called dense reconstruction instead of sparse reconstruction. The intuition is essentially, first off, we started off with cameras from a few different positions. And if we really quickly flip through these pictures, we can almost like deduce how far away these objects are. And this technique exploits the same sort of information. By comparing the different images, we could, like what we're seeing here, it's called parallax. Things that are far away move less compared to things that are closer to the camera. From this, we could calculate the disparity map, which essentially just tells us like how much the image has shifted for each pixel in the image. And after this, we could deduce the depth map. If we have like information about where the camera is, we could calculate an accurate depth map of how far the surfaces are away from the camera. And finally, we could use this to reconstruct the final 3D model. And so using this technique, I captured a huge data set from this building. These were some actual images from the data set. And it ended up taking me 3 months on and off. And I took 76,000 images and gave me like half a terabyte of data. And man, like actually processing this data was the hardest part, because many times the computer program simply wouldn't really recognize the details of the images, and I had to do a lot of manual work to match them. And the raw reconstruction from the software that I used looks like this. And this reconstruction is, what you're seeing here is really just the sparse reconstruction. That's why you can barely see any points. And it looks really, really messy. It hasn't been cleaned up or anything. And the blue things you see on camera, on the feed here, is actually where the cameras were when I was scanning them. And more than just 3D scanning, I felt that if I only preserve these spaces using a 3D model, it would be very bland, right? Because like if you head into an interesting space, you wouldn't just see things. You'd also see the people. You'd also like feel the environment. So I tried to extend the project's modality into, extra things like doing environmental recordings. Like on the left here, I started doing a lot of I captured every single sound source in a space that I could find, and in the virtual models, I'd place a sound source back in the original location. And I did a lot of interviews with the people that were working or living in these places using a Kinect. And the reason why I use a Kinect is because you could actually record 3D video from it. So like eventually, I could see them. Like you could place them in a VR experience and they would be almost like sitting in front of you, talking to you. And it just works for VR experiences and VR projects. But so this only solved the first part of the problem. We scanned the space, but I also want to make this project something more for the community, for the people who have lived there, for the people who are interested about these locations. So another part of the problem is how do we distribute this? How do we show this to the public? Say now I have like a 10, 20 gigabyte large model of just the mall. Imagine we have to download that through the browser. It's going to be really slow. And imagine if I had people download like an Unreal Engine client, exe that they have to install. Like in our age of TikTok, people simply do not have the attention span to load that in. And so I really felt that I needed to make this web-based. I wanted to make a web platform where I could showcase these models on people's own devices. And have it load instantly. But turns out that was a really difficult task, but also turns out it was a really interesting field of study that a lot of open source projects were available. And the core problem is that I've got a huge point cloud, a huge 3D model, and I need it to be downloaded into my audience's computers to actually see it. And you can't download the whole thing at one time, or otherwise you'll have like a huge time cost. So what we do is we use things called acceleration structures to store the 3D geometry. In my case, my 3D models are in a format called point clouds. So unlike the 3D models that you have in surfaces, I store my geometry in the form of a set of points, a set of discrete points. The reason why I do that is because it actually is the format in which how real archival people do it. It's more scientific. Like if you have a 3D mesh and you have missing information, you'll just have a 3D model that's really warped. Like it will try and fill in the missing information with like a blurry plane. But if it's actually a point cloud, it is actually the 3D information that you captured OG on the scene. But back to Octrees. Like the magic of Octrees is that you could store a huge space, a huge point cloud in this weird structure, which the reason why it's called the octree is because it's recursively divided into 8 parts. You know, like a cube is divided into smaller 8 cubes, and you have like n levels you could define arbitrarily. Through using octrees, you could actually arbitrarily query for specific points in specific spaces within this 3D model. Say, like, if a user came onto our website and he just came into like a specific spot in the location, we could determine this user's camera's frustum. The frustum meaning like the space in front of the camera in which they could see, drawn out as a shape. And using octrees, we could actually selectively download the parts of the model that are closest to them. And kind of not download anything that are behind them or deprioritize things that are really far away. And so by doing this, using a library called Poetry, which really wraps this up nicely, it allows us to see giant point clouds instantly on any device. But Poetry was meant to be like a scientific instrument. It's meant to, for land surveyors to kind of visualize huge 3D scans. And in my case, it is a project. It is almost like an art project that want to like bring people to reminisce about old places. It's very personal. It's very experiential. And so if I only had a very scientific point cloud viewer, it would be very dry and very boring. And so I tried to make it look nicer. I added some sass into it, essentially. So I did this using the power of shaders. Instead of having just a regular point cloud, of having just, having the points being static in space, I used Perlin noise, which is essentially a continuous field of 3D noise. You give it some XYZ position, it'll give you a noise value back to distort the models. And I didn't do it in such a dramatic fashion. I did it more subtly, more nicely. And also, I added bloom shaders. Bloom shaders, I think you'll be very familiar with games. Don't overdo it. And also, finally, lookup tables, which is just a fancy name for Instagram filters. It just makes things take on a nicer shade of color. And with all that done, this was the final product. Like I was actually able to capture this entire space in stasis in my computer, and it was really, really cool. And now the space is gone. So around this point of the project, I felt like I was pushing the boundaries of what me as an individual can achieve. And I felt like, you know what, I could really use some funding to try and make this project better, get more resources, maybe actually get a server instead of having to host it myself or pay for a server. And so I tried to look for some relevant organizations that existed out there. And I stumbled upon this one tour organization which specialized in running tours about old Hong Kong, walking, talking tours about old Hong Kong. And they seem to be really open for collaboration. And they specifically had a project to talk about the State Theater. And so I approached them. And initially, I got a rather warm response, and I was organized a meeting with them. But when I went there, it was rather an odd experience. So I headed up their office, and the reception lady came out to see me, and we went into the meeting room. And essentially, it ended really quickly. It was just like 10 minutes. The guy just came and told me, I'm sorry, we actually don't have any resources to help you. We don't really have a lot of research about State Theater, which I was asking for. And but the weirdest thing was all this time, behind this lady was actually a whiteboard of the mind map of all the related relevant people and their stories on a whiteboard. And I could see that completely. So I was like, what the fuck? And that was just rather suspicious, but I had to put that aside, and I tried to continue looking. And around the same time, that's when I also heard that the land developers of this development wanted to add in an element of heritage into their redevelopment, as in they wanted to keep some of the looks of the building. And so I contacted them. I prepped really, really hard. You have to understand that back then, I was in my 10th, 11th grade, and I was talking to the marketing head of one of the largest the property developers in Asia. And so honestly, I actually had no idea what I was doing. But I prepped for the meeting, and I went there. They sat and listened and smiled, but and they also told me to, we'll consider it. But that was the last of it. I got ghosted. And then there we go. They didn't even say no. That was not very nice of them. And at that moment, I realized that, I had to go solo. And the reason why is because my project's narrative didn't really fit what the commercial world wants. In fact, after the meeting with this real estate developer, I caught news that apparently the tour company was taking money from the property development company. And I highly suspect that, they just decided that this project's narrative is not right for them. And the reason being is because, with my project, I did a lot of interviews with the tenants inside of these spaces, and they all really like their life here. Oh, I don't want to leave. I just want to, live here and stay here. Whereas that's exactly what the developers don't want, to go out there and, market about. And, poor me in my 10th grade didn't think about that. So I realized I had to go independent. I had my limited resources, and if I wanted to continue to develop this project and use the same technique to preserve more spaces, I can't keep on just doing hardcore coding for every single location, and I had to do some automation to make my workflow more efficient, essentially. Just like how most CS people usually waste their time on doing useless automations on work that would otherwise be done quicker if they just did it by hand. But, so the next part of my project is that I've started building a web editor for these experiences. Previously, when I was, say, developing the 3D experience for the State Theater, I had to spend days after days positioning 3D objects using code. I had to use coordinates. I had to like really quickly try whether this rotation was right, whether this position was right, which was absolutely inefficient. And so I dreamed about having this visual editor, like a game engine, where I could just place assets wherever I wanted it to. And through this experience, I tried picking up React and Firebase and Tailwind, and it took me just shy of like a month or two, and eventually I was able to, oh, give me a second, I'll need to open up the site on this browser. Eventually I developed this site where now making an experience is really, really simple, like, and it's really, really well managed. Like all of these locations have their own like page for it, they have their own theme color, and this works really nicely. And I only had to develop each of these experiences once, and it magically works on your desktop, on your phone, on VR headsets. So it really sped up my production time. I'll show you the editor as well. So the editor is kind of hidden here behind the logo. You have to click enough times. Oh, I actually forgot my password because it's on my suggested password. This is not my computer. So unfortunately, you cannot see that. Anyway, back to the presentation. Essentially, it's like a really nice drag and drop editor. You could add objects into there. You have different types of objects you could add. You could add a 3D model like you see in games. You could add point clouds. You could add audio sources, so you could hear things coming from a certain region. You could add like connect interviews. So you could like add like literally an old man talking in front of your screen. That's kind of the idea. And but that wasn't the whole story about automation, because creating these experiences on the computer was post-processing, and that's just one part of the production process. The other part that really took a lot of time was capturing the images. It was so much labor. You had to like, you know, imagine walking into an informatics building and you had to grab a single camera and you have to like walk around and stop every meter to take a picture and then crouch down and jump up to get all the possible perspectives you can to get as much data as you want. It's very inefficient, and it's actually really good exercise. But so I thought, what if we could automate the capturing of these pictures? What if instead of just grabbing these cameras by yourself, we could, you know, make it move around by itself? And so I started drafting out this idea of a modular robot where, you know, it would move around on its own, and not unlike a robotic vacuum, but you could mount arbitrary cameras on top of this machine, such that now you could just give it a command saying that, okay, let's explore the space, and it would automatically take pictures and snap pictures, and for which you could later on use for 3D processing. Oh. Yep, missed that. And the base of the robot, in order to make it more compatible with the tight spaces that I captured in, was using a system called holonomic wheels. Essentially, you know, imagine we have like a really tight space where it's really hard to fit through. Instead of trying to slowly parallel park, we could magically, oh God, we could horizontally move our car directly, which makes like navigating really tight spaces much more easier. And it's just a bit of like linear algebra magic that you could have like 4 of these wheels just mounted statically on your robot, and you could just make it you can make it rotate in place. You could make it, you know, go forward, go back, go left, go right without rotating. It could do any sort of possible movement you could dream up of, except flying. And in order to achieve that, I also delved into a lot of circuitry, because we actually had to drive rather strong motors to accommodate for a large robot, to also mount cameras on it. We started off with this rat's nest of PCBs, pre-made PCBs, and breadboards and motor drivers. And then we eventually evolved to get our own PCB manufactured and fit a Arduino on it, until we realized that apparently it's really hard to get the contact pins of the Arduino to work perfectly with a PCB. So the next thing we did, the next iteration, the round thing you see here, we disemboweled the Arduino to scatter its parts on a PCB and integrate it with the rest of the motor drivers, power supply, yada yada yada. But that made it so much more stable. And for the frame of the robot, we started off using these ready-made aluminum extrusions to build something, to build the first prototype. But eventually, we went to get the services off some factory online to manufacture our own custom base, which just looked so much nicer and so much more solid. But building the robotic frame is just one thing. The next thing that you want to do is you want to control the robot's speed. And apparently, in order to do that precisely, you need to dive into something called control theory. Essentially, it's just, you have what I have solidly as hardware is you've got a motor. This motor could spin given a voltage, and it's some unknown function that when you give some voltage, it would spin to some arbitrary speed. And if you're doing robotics, what you really want is, I want this wheel to spin at a very specific rotational velocity. And in order to do that, you use control theory. And the simplest form of this control theory is just PID control. And it's almost like if you're trying to spin up a wheel to say 2 rotations per minute, and it's currently only doing 1, it automatically adjusts the voltage, heightens it so that it would spin faster. It's essentially a self-correcting system to eventually get your wheels to the state that you want it to be. But control theory is so complicated. This is only the simplest form of control theory. And I believe if you've taken any of the robotics classes, you would have suffered in it. And the next part of this, though, I only managed so far to control the velocity of individual wheels. The next part is, how do we actually control the velocity, the position of the entire robot, which is separate from the entire robot. For this, we have to use something called inverse kinematics and kinematics. Essentially, we're trying to derive some linear algebra equation such that given some velocity for the entire robot we wanted to move into, say we wanted to spin simultaneously and move forward, we want to derive what the individual wheel velocities are. And that was also another kind of rabbit hole. After that, we had to deal with mapping because we want this robot to move autonomously and it needs to know its environment in order to not bump into objects. And for that, we used a 2D LiDAR. Essentially, it's like a laser pointer that's spinning in circles five times a second. And this laser could actually detect the distance of objects in the room. And by doing that 5 times a second, you build out a map of what you see in your current position. And if you combine that with something called a mapping server, or really just some program to interpret the LiDARs, you can start build up the actual 2D outline of the space you're in. And after having this map, what you really want to do is you want to navigate to some random position. In my case, if I want my robot to randomly navigate in a space, I'll start picking random positions I want it to go. But then how do you actually pick the best path forward? And that is something, that's pathfinding. And you'll use BFS, DFS. I suppose you'll be familiar with that. And it works out really nicely. It's a really simple algorithm, and it finds the closest, the fastest path with respect to it. Also, actually, it's not just any path. For each point in this map, you actually have something called a cost map. Effectively, you're assigning a score to any position inside of this map and saying, like, how good of a location is this to be in? Like, for example, if you're really close to the wall, it's not really a great place to be in because you might collide with the wall. And that would have a higher score. So when we're doing this path finding, it's actually finding some path that would give you a relatively safe path in which you wouldn't collide with things as easily. And after all this, we have the robot up and running. But the fact is, after this, we didn't really get to use the robot that much because it turns out it's really hard to get the robot to work on any sort of terrain, especially if you're trying to go outdoors. And what I presented to you earlier is like really a robot that's designed for a 2D, very synthetic environment. Whereas if I'm going to take it to some arbitrary village in the middle of nowhere, the landscape is going to be really curved, and you're going to have a lot of obstacles that are not really well represented by a flat map. And so like the next step is really to do 3D mapping and 3D navigation, but turns out that's so much more difficult, and that's something that I'm still working on currently. But anyway, enough talking about like, you know, how I did automation on this project. Like at this point, like while I was working on this stuff, I was still simultaneously working on the content of the project. And with these new tools, I accelerated the development of my project. And I kept on listening to news to see like what's really worth preserving. And one day I heard the news about this restaurant. It's called Jumbo Floating Restaurant. It's actually a huge ship that floats in some bay, some harbor in Hong Kong that's been here since the 70s. And it's really an icon. I wouldn't say it's traditional Chinese architecture. It definitely is not. It really is more so like a kind of a tourist destination manufactured for white people. But it's an icon. Like they shot James Bond there. I think the Queens visited there, and a lot of iconic Hong Kong movies were shot there. So it really had a place in the hearts for the people that lived around it. And more so, the environment in which this Jumbo Floating Restaurant was based in, it was actually embedded in another fishing village that used to be a fishing village, sorry. And that fishing village is kind of gone as well, so it's kind of a symbol of the fishing business that happened in that area. But unfortunately, this restaurant had to like close its doors during COVID because they had no tourists. And people always thought that it's just gonna reopen once the tourists come back. But that came to an end when news came that their kitchen sank to just capsize like this. And so that was kind of a sign of the point of no return. Like, you know, you can't run a restaurant without a kitchen. And so we sped there with our cameras, with our drones. We rented a boat and used our mirrorless cameras to like capture tons of pictures encircling the entire structure. And we flew drones across the roofs of this building. Unfortunately, we can't go in, otherwise that would be trespassing. But yeah, we wasted a lot of resources on this, and one of the drones actually fell into the sea, and that was pretty painful. But what surprised us was the day after, the company that was responsible for the boat announced that, you know what, this boat is kind of in disrepair, so we're gonna bring it to Cambodia so we could repair it. And the very next day after their announcement, they took the boat out to sea. And the very next day, the boat was in the bottom of the sea. And actually, this caused a lot of like conspiracy theories. You know, like actually maintaining the structure for a year cost many, many millions of dollars. So it was really, really sus. And people accused it of being like planned. But anyway, that was none of my business. My business was that I realized I have actually just scanned the last moments of this icon. And so what I started to do was I started to write up press releases. I wrote to many, many newspapers in the hopes of grabbing more attention, and hopefully I'll get more resources. And these are how the scans end up looking like. It's actually quite nice. And to my surprise, really quickly, I got feedback from SCMP, which is kind of the equivalent of The Guardian in Asia. And we got our own first report. It was really, really nice. And we even got on Wikipedia. I swear, I did not put myself on there. But yeah, there's that. And after this, we got news that apparently some art organization wanted to host our website for us and paid us for it, and they were not going to take any of the copyright. I'm more so familiar paying for hosting, so that was refreshing for a change. And we hosted an online exhibition where we had this really, really cool website set up for us, and people just came in to browse our virtual archives. But after that, they reached out to me again to say that actually we have another new opportunity where we could fund you for a physical venue for you to showcase your work. And so I got busy, like trying to dream up the space of which I could materialize the work so far, like the mentality of my work so far into an actual physical exhibition. The space wasn't huge, but I feel like the core message of the space was for people to wake up to their senses, to like, you know, because like I was trying to relate back to my childhood experiences of growing up in the space and have never realized there were so much interesting stories that have lived in them. And I think if you just dig slightly deeper and you like stand here and just look around you, you'll realize there are lots of interesting things going around for you to discover. And so the space, the idea of the space was actually two parts. The main part of it, the circle thing you see on the bottom right of the screen, is meant to be a meditation space. We had people like sit down in here to and to ground themselves in the real world. I know it sounds really hippie, and it was actually a multimedia installation. They actually, I'll not spoil it for you. I'll show you a demo later. And on top of this thing where it's not the circle, it's actually a workspace because apparently the curator for the exhibition wanted me to show my process. So I actually set up a little office there where I actually developed the whole code base for the experience. But this was how I dreamed up of the space. It was meant to like it was meant to be like between different times. Like I had modern things like VR headsets, like modern computers lying around, but at the same time I would have like CRTs and older computers. It's just like a space that's meant to be timeless. It transcends time. And in order to achieve this, it was really fun. I went around the city to hunt like just random pieces of old architecture hiding in malls. I just asked people, could I take your desk for like a week? And like their computers or whatnot. And surprisingly, a lot of them agreed. And I spent 2 days, because that's the time I have for setup, like doing coding on the spot, like trying to set up interactive lighting installations, sound installations, and I also slept at the exhibition venue because I was terrible at time management. And eventually, this was the experience. So you start the experience by bringing the tingsha, which is an instrument you use in meditation, which is actually for people to wake up from their meditation, so they would be back in the real world. So it symbolizes a moment of awakening. Originally, the room before you rang the tingsha would be in this slow, warm, glowy state where the incandescent bulbs that were hung from the ceiling would just slowly like pulsate. But once you rang the thing, like the light bulbs just go ding, 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 and the lights dim. And the walls open up to let you see like the interior of a lot of the spaces I've captured. And along with the projections, it's meant to allow people to walk into the circle as they sat there meditating. They could actually see these spaces in VR and revisit them as memories. And it worked out really nicely, and took some really good pictures. Hosted another talk there, and got another report. It was just really, really good. It was really like a dream come true for me because I always wanted to mess with things like this, and I got that opportunity and I got paid for it. But as the exhibition reached its midpoint, I found myself high above the clouds, flying back to Edinburgh. I had little time to celebrate as school was about to start again. In my previous years, this would have been the time when I'd put my project on hold, and I'll freeze it until the summer came again. But this year, it was different. It was my final year, and the weight of reality was sinking in. Suddenly, everything felt so real. My dissertation loomed on the horizon, along with decisions about applying for postgraduate programs or starting a career. It felt like the mindset of storytelling and preservation, something I had been in, was slipping away and being replaced with more practical concerns of survival. And after all, isn't that what most of us are preparing for, like finding stability, securing a job? But as I looked out of the window of the plane, I couldn't help but reflect on the choices I've made. While many of my peers were interning at big tech companies, building portfolios and perfecting their resumes, I was spending my time on a project that, while deeply meaningful to me, didn't fit the mold. To the art world, my project might have it looked too technical. But to the tech world, it might not have seemed rigorous enough. And so, for a while, I worried that I have taken the wrong path. But after thinking more deeply, I realized that I had made the right choice. I had followed my heart, and in doing so, I picked up skills that I have never would have gained by following a more conventional route. From Python to 3D scanning, from shaders to robotics, everything I learned came naturally as part of my journey. This organic learning is far more valuable than what I had initially realized. But more importantly, as students, we have a rare freedom. The freedom to work on things that interest us without the pressure of needing to make money. It's a privilege, really. We can take risks and pursue projects that excite us, even if they don't seem commercially viable or practical right now. And in doing so, we not only develop skills, but we also discover what truly drives us. Technology should be a tool for the underrepresented to gain more control, and not a way for large corporations to increase their dominance over the world. The choices you make now will shape the kind of technologists you become. Will you create tools that empower people, or will you contribute to systems that already hold too much power? This is something we all need to think about carefully as we build our careers. And now, as I stand at the crossroads of finishing my degree and applying for grad school, I'm grateful for where this project has led me. It has drilled a deep passion for graphics and technology for me, and the skills I've developed in this space have made working on it all the more interesting and all the more rewarding. What started as a personal project has evolved into something that brings together my love for storytelling and cutting-edge tech in a way that I truly enjoy. The journey has shown me that the more I dive into this field, the more there is to explore. I'm excited to push this technology further, to refine it, and to see where it can take me, and how it can continue to benefit this project. As I progress, I know I can contribute back, making sure that what I've started won't just fade into memory, but can grow and empower others to preserve their own histories too. So as I look into the future, I want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to take risks and pursue projects that might not fit the typical boxes. What might seem impractical or uncommercial now could end up being the most meaningful work you ever do. It's through passion and curiosity that we find our true calling, and it's those qualities that will ultimately shape the world for the better. Thank you so much.
Can you give me the double one? Or do you want to say the thing that we're at the back? Sorry? Or you want to kind of pipe that up? We want people to queue up for that. So you just say what's going on. Just tell them that we're doing something.
Okay, so are we going to take a break now then?
Yes, so give me that for a sec. So guys, right now what we're gonna have is pizza's just arrived, but no. I saw like half of you immediately look towards the door, ready to sprint. While pizza's happening, we're gonna be taking the break. After that, when we're back, we're gonna be doing the EGM. But while we're taking this break, we want some people to queue up for the back, where you can try an interactive demo of Heng's project that we have prepared for you.
Old stuff, but
It's an interactive VR demo that you can try over there. So yeah, decide pizza or the demo. See you guys in roughly 20 to 30 minutes.
Can you see it? STMU. Was that right now?
Yeah, right
All
now.
right, fine. Vincent, you lied. It's moving. Hold on. Hello, 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 hello.
Yes.
Oh wait.
That was when you were there.
Okay. Oh God. Right. It's okay. Martin, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. Right. Walk with us so we know. Right. Sorry, guys. So apparently we were muted. And what's this? What is this? Okay. We've got a backup mic in case. Yeah, okay, so we're now doing street interviews. This has been very chaotic because this was just thrown into my hands, and you missed a great interview with someone who's running for first year rep, but is in second year in maths. Ugh. But he's running for junior treasurer, so maybe it'll be okay. So, we're now here at the CompSoc merch stand. What are you guys interested in buying here today? Oh, we got some CompSocs.
They're amazing.
Interesting.
I'm gonna only wear these from now on.
Beautiful. You're going to clean them, though.
Yeah.
Lies from a computer science student. Shut up! Okay, so, yeah, we've got mugs. We've got fiber cloth when you buy. Is the audio still working?
Yes.
Cool. But most importantly today, we've got first time for non-committee members. This is amazing opportunity, guys. The committee members have been going around all of semester today, and we have been absolutely killing it with the quarter zips. I wonder whose idea it was. So, huh? Comment on the quality. Martin, have a little feel of my quarter zip here. How does that feel? What does that feel like? That feels like a 70K balance sheet, doesn't it? Yeah. It is exactly the same quality that in the university shop as well. Suppliers. Hoppers. Oh, we'll come back. Let's do a little quick. So we had a talk today about ancient lost cities and how he's able to virtualize them. So we are in the
Okay, so it's kind of disconnecting my
Did it work when I was in there? Okay. Testing. Is it still working? Is it working? Okay. We're in the demo room.
Heritage spaces in Hong Kong. Oh, damn.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I've been working on this project for the past 7 years that tries to preserve a lot of heritage sites in Hong Kong endangered by land redevelopment into 3D models and in VR. And but like the context in which I'm really presenting it here is I really just want to show people the joys of working on a passion project that you truly enjoy, and that you could learn so much relevant stuff that doing leak code doesn't do you well. So I'm just asking people to do things that they like. That's all. That's my talk. Thank you.
And is there anything you can see CompSoc doing that could potentially perpetuate that message of doing stuff that you enjoy?
Well, honestly, I think it's just diversifying the range of different activities that you guys could host. Like, instead of just focusing on a lot of things like core algorithms, like, I think a lot of thing about CompSci is like, a lot of thing that CompSci misses is that you only think about what you do, how you do it, but you don't think about the why. Like, we're just taking these algorithms out of context and we don't think about how it impacts the world. So maybe if we cover more in that, and not in a really hand-wavy way where we sound like we're studying humanities, but we really truly cover the rigor of how we can do things and what that impacts, I feel like that's going to be a change.
Awesome. Well,
Take down
thank you.
We're coming back soon.
Yeah, okay, well, we'll follow with him. Right, so coming up, we have the first year rep elections, the junior treasurer elections, and the VP elections where Marton gets kicked. Right, do you want me to hold it?
What are we doing right now? You're interviewing me or what?
I'm interviewing myself. Why should you get it?
Right now, I'm just taking this. We will be back soon. We do like a screen interview thing.
Yeah, well, for the,
Could the text be screen interview?
yeah, do that. Speed interviews with Fergus White.
Camera. And now it's frozen. Properties.
Can we get an audio check? Is it still working? Awesome.
Put that in the top left corner for good. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, here's Vincent. What's the most exciting thing about today?
What's the most exciting thing about today? Well, I mean, we're electing our first-year representatives. We're electing our first ever junior treasurer.
Crazy.
Electing vice president, and also first time ever in an STMU we have an interactive VR sort of workshop headsets. I think that's really cool.
Interesting. What are the odds on the candidates? What's the betting pool?
What's the betting pool? Oh, well, the betting pool is a secret betting pool. I can't.
What's it on Marton? I've got 100 against. Here. No. So let's head over to the door and let's catch people on their way in.
Can you keep monitoring the waveform?
Yeah, make sure we still have audio and I'm not just talking like an idiot. Start filtering people in now and I'll grab people. Well, I can't do it, I've got the mic.
Yeah, we still have like 10 minutes of break.
Yeah, right, okay. Hello. Welcome to speed interviews on CompSoc. What's your favorite SIG?
Game dev sake.
You're hearing it first here, folks. Game dev SIG #1. Right, sorry, right. What's your name?
Tim.
Tim. Okay. So why are you here tonight?
For the EGM, but the STMU good, and I'm from Hong Kong.
Surprisingly good, guys. Surprisingly good. You heard?
What? The only thing that matters is that it's good. It's cinematic. Like I felt like I just watched the whole damn movie in 30 minutes. So I tried.
Did you cry?
I almost, kind of, but there were people here.
He's a cry shyer. Right, thank you for coming. Vote for the best first year rep, best junior rep. Don't vote for Martin. Don't vote for Martin.
I thought he's sitting here.
No, he's running for VP, but he's not gonna win, so it's okay.
He's my tutor, so maybe.
Yeah, Lewis, come here. We've got our very own graphic designer from CompSoc here. This is the guy that makes all the posts. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm second year on the MINF. I do a lot of graphic design. I like building websites. I'm Lewis. It says here.
Yes, very
Yeah.
true. On this very swanky hoodie. I did not say any of that into the mic. Yeah, graphic designer. We love that. Where's your core zip?
It's on display there.
Ah, he's one of the display models. Wait, there's only Navy one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, right. We have one of the potential first year rep candidates here. Tell us your name and give like a quick elevator pitch on why people should vote for you.
Right, so my name is Schlock, and you might know me as Ace, and I currently run the first year Discord server. I have been elected class rep twice before in school. I do plan out all the things I do. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck today. Favorite SIG?
Game dev sig.
Fuck yeah, baby. Thank you very much. Good luck today, sir. So, just a rundown for those of you that haven't potentially yet. Get your membership. Take a screenshot of the page. All photo apps should be able to support scanning this. And read the manifestos if you haven't. They're quite important, but there may be candidates today running without manifestos. We'll just have to see. So, whilst we wait for people to come in, they should be coming in fairly soon, I believe. Because
Zooming in on the clock, we still have like 5 minutes.
we don't have a stabilizer. Kate, do you want to do a street interview for CompSoc? This is the president of Hoppers. All right, Hoppers, come here. Hoppers. Oh yeah. If you want to do the. All right, go for it. Bloody well better. Oh my God, it's the co-founder of TypeSig. It's Greg/Jacob. You're not a student here anymore, are you?
Not for the time being.
That's very true.
Soon this will actually be my building and not yours. I won't have to go to the little security guy to let me through. I'll have card access.
So that's enough from Jacob. Right. So, I don't know if I could do this without getting cut out, but do a little pan down of what we've got in terms of pizza.
We can go out and show them.
Yeah, it's just going to cut out.
Here.
Currently, Marton is doing. Go all the way over there. There's the drinks. We got. We would have had tenants if everyone wasn't so boring and let me bring the tenants. And we're back here now. We've got some more people in here now. There's fucking Greg. What is he doing? Oh, what did he? Give me. What the fuck did he do? Someone get the live stream up. Stat. Someone get the live stream up. Charlotte, get the live stream up quick. Go back 10 seconds. What is he doing? Oh, what did he?
This is Inception now.
Okay. What?
We need to have a look at what they're doing here.
Inception.
Same thing again.
That's crazy. Let's have a little read through the. Interesting. Hello, chat. What's up, chat? Clip that. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah. Right. RT, Madeline, Subicat, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 10 gifted. Right, okay. Where's Marton? Where did my camera guy go? All right, thank you. Sorry. And we're now in the live experience. I just realized you couldn't hear me all the way back there, but now Marton, put the camera on something. And I'm now in control. They gave me control of the camera. Bad mistake. Chives, it's your turn to get interviewed. So, what's your name? What do you do? And what's your favorite SIG?
Oh, hello, I'm Chives. What do? I do AI, and my favorite SIG is obviously Sapient.
That's enough from Chives.
Hi. Hello.
What's your name? What do you do?
I don't know. Psyduck, maybe?
I'm not talking to you. Invigorating. So, we're waiting for the last kind of group of people to start coming in. There's Ollie. Yes, guys, get your CompSoc merch. Get your CompSoc merch. I don't know what to do whilst I'm waiting for people because there's nowhere to access. There's nowhere to access the stuff. Because I can't go too far away. I don't know why they decided to give me the camera. This was a terrible idea. And the mic, no less. They should have known better. Wojtek, come here. Come here, Wojtek. Come here, Wojtek. They gave me the mic and the camera, so now I'm just rolling with it.
Nice.
Right. Okay. So, what's your name? What do you do? What's your favorite SIG?
Project Share. That's about it.
What's your name? What do you do?
Project Share. That's about it.
It's Project Share.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Have you decided who you're voting for tonight, or are you still undecided? You're waiting for the speeches.
I'm waiting for the speeches. I just got here, bro. I just got here for the free pizza. That's all I care about.
This is a fake CompSoc, fake CompSoc member.
Imposter, yeah.
Fucking imposter here, guys. Yeah. So I think people are starting to come back in now. There's Marton. He's back. He's back. Do you want to take the camera again?
No, I'm going to tell.
Oh, okay. You sure you don't want to take the camera?
I will take it back to the
Oh, here's Elisa. Oh, right. Speaking. So we're electing Junior Treasurer for the first time tonight. Can you give us a little rundown on what the Junior Treasurer is and what sort of person you're looking for in Junior Treasurer?
Of course, what sort of person? I don't want to say too much about people's personality, but we definitely are looking for someone who is going to be our treasurer next year. So if you are going to be the junior treasurer, you're going to get a lot of training, which puts you in a really good position to be the treasurer next year. That said, the treasurer involves many roles like bookkeeping, but also communication, talking to people. So you want to see someone who is like really good at problem solving, talking to people, communicating, able to like stay on top of things. Anything is related to like finance, too many things. People already know.
And what's your favorite SIG?
I can't say that.
Why?
I'm biased.
I literally interviewed Wojtek, which I'm pretty sure is the president of Project Share.
Well, I'm in the committee for the Edinburgh AI, so I think that's my favorite.
That's fair enough. That's very well. And here we are. After long awaited, we have hoppers here that are showing support. So we've got Kate and Alice. What's your? Yes. Yeah. What's the? Have you read over the manifestos?
No, I haven't actually.
Should probably do that.
Yeah, where can I find them?
You can find them on the news page on the CompSoc website. Yeah. Or actually, if this didn't turn off.
It has died.
Oh.
Hi there.
If you scan the QR code here, you can read the manifesto. Beautiful setup.
Amazing.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm super excited because for some reason they handed me the mic and a camera. That was a terrible idea for them.
Slight introduction. Hello. We're going to now start the election and the speeches. Please make your way to your seats.
Yes, make your way to your seats.
Yes, live stream people, make your way to your seats.
Okay, right. Yeah, let's make our way to the seats. What up? Oh yeah, so this is one of the other first year rep candidates. What's your name?
I'm Hyunsu Lee. I am the newest committee of the Game Dev SIG, and I'm here to win the election.
She's confident. Didn't you make a game?
Yep, and I posted it on Discord. I think everyone's loving it. You get to kill the head of Computer Science Society here. You get to kill Vincent.
Hell yeah. Right, good luck. Good luck. Oh yeah, what's your favorite SIG?
Game Dev SIG for the win. Whoa.
That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. Stan, I'm going to shove a camera in your face if that's okay. Right. What's your name? What do you do? What's your favorite SIG? Who are you voting for tonight if you've decided?
I'm Stan. I'm studying computer science, as I'm sure everyone else is in the room, and my favorite SIG would be Project Share because I helped to run it. Who am I voting for? We are yet to find out because no one's presented.
What sort of qualities are you looking for in a first-year rep?
Looking for someone that's very enthusiastic about CompSoc. Looking for someone who's gonna take it seriously, and I don't know, someone that gets on well with people, I'd say.
That's all very valid points. We're not going to talk to this guy. He's not a student anymore. He's just watching me for some reason. Just another word for watching. Anyway, thank you. Are you coming in, guys? Let's start heading in. We've got elections to go. We'll call you up. We'll call you up. Yeah.
Because my name is not on the list of my
Yeah. Go and tell Vincent that you're running. Guy with president on his back. Care to explain the dress choice today, sir?
It's a great shirt. I love the shirt.
And what SIG are you president of again? That's all you need to know about Quantsig, guys. And here's Godfrey, our beautiful secretary.
What's going on?
Martin handed me a mic, and so I've just been running with it, which was a terrible idea.
Are you getting a
YouTube.
terrible angle of me right now?
Yeah. What sort of qualities are you looking for in a first-year rep?
Honestly, I would just say that they need to be really personable, and they need to really be able to reach the community of the first years. First years are very important to CompSoc, so we need to be able to reach as many as possible. Yeah, get engagement.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, how many people have we got left? Can we start heading in now? We're gonna get started soon. It's a live stream. That's my academic.
Hello. Is this mic on? Hi, hi, hi. Can you hear this on the...
If you can't hear it here, you can't hear it there enough. You can hear it slightly.
We can hear you on the stream mic.
On the stream mic. But can you hear me? Oh, you can hear me on the speaker. Okay, hello, welcome back. So, welcome to the first EGM of the academic year, the October EGM. We'll be electing 3 positions today, starting with the vice president, the new role of junior treasurer, and then the first year representative. But before we do that, I'd like you to briefly introduce the committee for this academic year. So hello, my name is Vincent. I'm the president this year. Nice to meet you all. I'll pass the mic on to the vice president.
Yeah, okay, wait. We should have started at the edge. Anyway, hi guys, I'm Martin. I'm the current vice president of CompSoc. I hope you're really enjoying this event so far. And yeah, I'll pass it on to Lewis.
Hello, my name's Lewis. I'm the graphic designer at CompSoc.
Hello, I'm Godfrey. I'm the current secretary.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the old person rep. Don't get too used to me.
Oh my god, there's 2! Wait, why is there 2?
I don't know. Just hold.
Oh, I see. Hello, I'm Thomas. I'm the 4th year rep.
Hello, I'm Kat. I'm the tech sec.
Period.
I'm Elisa. I get it. I'm Elisa. I'm the current treasurer.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm the EDI representative. So, there you go.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Anastasia and I'm the social sec.
Hi, I'm Agam and I'm the social media officer.
Hello, I'm Fergus Wyatt. I'm the 3rd year rep.
Microphones, this is insane. Okay. Right. So, without further ado, we'll start with the election. But before we do that, final chance, get your membership. Oh my God, this is tangled. In order to vote, you need a membership. It's completely free. You're not going to get charged. Just scan this, sign up. That's it. We'll mail the voting form to you, to only the members. So that's why you need to get one. Now, this is going to close. When are we going to close this? We're effectively going to collect all the emails around 45 past. So sign up. If you don't sign up and you still want to vote, come to Godfrey. He's here. He'll take your vote. If you also don't have a use account, let's say you're not a student, come to Godfrey, vote through Godfrey. Last thing, we're going to go in the order that the manifestos are submitted. If you did not submit a manifesto, but you would still like to run for a position, you can still sign up and run for a position. Fergus actually once ran on a position to 5 minutes. I mean, he came up with it 5 minutes before you ran, right? Yeah, that was the first year up. So you can still run. And you can do it too. So if you want to run for a position and you haven't signed up, go see Godfrey. He's in the corner. Great. Now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, let's actually begin. Oh, yes, question. Hello.
Are we doing community voting first year out?
Are we doing voting for?
Are we doing community voting first year? Are only first years allowed to vote for first year?
No, absolutely everyone is allowed to vote for everything. Yeah, good question, actually. Right, and one note about the voting system itself. Hello, please, could I get everyone's attention for one moment? Thank you. The voting system is ranked voting. It's not your favorite candidate, you rank them, which means, I guess, don't just remember the favorite person, remember, I guess, every person and how you relate them, because you'll have to rank your favorite candidate to maybe your least favorite candidate. And if you don't want to vote for any of them, or none of them are your favorite, you can put Ron first. Ron is our most loyal candidate, aka reopen nominations. So if Ron wins, the position remains vacant. Great. Any other questions before we begin? Okay. For speeches, you're going to have strictly 1 minute. And since we don't have a lot of time, I will be strict about it. Once your 1 minute is over, I'm going to start clapping. Everyone else is going to join in, and that's it. Then once all the candidates are done for the position, we'll have a quick Q&A, so you can think of questions beforehand and ask them later. Yeah, and that's it. Enjoy the speeches. So first things first, we're going to start with Vice President. Martin, please come up.
When's the minute going? Oh, that's already the timer. Hi, everyone. As many of you might already know, my name is Martin. I'm the current VP. I'm currently seeking election again for the role of Vice President. Really, what I can say is over the past couple of months, I've really enjoyed contributing to the CompSoc committee. I've helped organize quite a few events. There's also this thing I've been organizing for the past couple of months called the STMU. I don't know who's heard of it here. You're sitting at it right now, for those that don't know what an STMU is. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Honestly, big shout out to Heng. Absolutely amazing talk. I hope everybody had the opportunity to try out the thing. And going forward, like this event is what I strive to recreate. This type of atmosphere where you can come together, have free pizza, meet new faces, do a couple of fun street interviews, and explore more stuff in informatics you wouldn't otherwise have had the opportunity to. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Martin. Anyone else for VP? I don't see. Anya? No? Okay. Great. Oh, I guess Q&A. Anyone got questions for Martin? Or Ron?
Has anyone got a question for Martin? That's all the candidates are running.
It's really not a dictatorship. I mean, okay, if there's no questions, then we'll, I guess, move on to the next. I'm lost my track of slides. Okay, so for junior treasurer, please, could I have Wenkin Chan, if I haven't butchered your name.
Wait, hello. Okay, and everyone. Wait, sorry. Okay, hey everyone, I'm Wenkin Chan, and you can call me Damien, and I am running for the junior treasurer. And finance is the most important for a variety of activities in computer society. And I will place for 3 points. First, every member voice is valued, which means because I am a year 1 representative and I can communicate with others representatives for your thought. So I can allocate more funding for more variety of activities, maybe new balls, and actually whatever you suggest. And secondly, I will make the optimal resource allocation because the resource is limited. So we should allocate it in some important activities. So I will collect some cost-saving opportunities and also, I forgot. And also I will prioritize my funding into some important thing that will directly impact your experience. And thirdly is the transparency. So I want you guys to know where the money has gone, just other than pizza. And so that, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Next, for junior treasurer, could I have Arthur Sokolov?
Okay, everyone. Oh. Where's the mic on this? Huh? Oh, hey everyone. I'm Arthur Sokolov, and I'm running for CompSoc Junior Treasurer. Some people know me as Rasputin, but who cares? So, I'm doing a degree in mathematics and computer science, and currently doing an elective in accounting. So I believe that with my solid understanding of financial statements and how to prepare balance sheets, I believe that I have some knowledge in it, and ignoring all that technical jargon, I know how to make these balances work for us and work for everyone. I ensure budgeting is on point so we can invest in bigger and better events without blowing the budget, and allowing for bigger SIG funding, and of course, running free pizza events, because that's basically a human right, come on. Transparency is also a key part of my role. We wouldn't want all the money going to some shadow government, right? We wouldn't want that. We want to keep it transparent here. So I'm going to do that. I'll keep CompSoc running smoothly, ensuring the resources grow, and of course, we have fun along the way. So vote for Arthur, you won't regret it.
Thank you. Next up, we have Cameron Russell.
Thank you very much. Right, my role as junior treasurer is rested on 3 pledges. First one is to establish a corporate debit card system for CompSoc's treasury, or something equivalent. The way this would work is that each SIG will get its own card, which is tied to a fund within the CompSoc bank account. This streamlines the process, streamlining the process for SIGs to create events. It means it's less time intensive, doesn't jeopardize SIG organizers' funds, means that you end up with more and better quality events, and streamlines the whole process. Also means more events are on budget. Second pledge is to establish stronger ties with trusted suppliers for repeated purchases. So think stickers, hoodies, web services, applications. If we establish ties as a CompSoc working together, not just a bunch of SIGs working separately, we can get stronger ties and we can get cheaper products. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, before we continue, there was one candidate who ran but unfortunately cannot be here on the day. So instead, she's requested that I read out her manifesto to you all instead. Oh boy. Okay, so, dear members, I'm excited to stand for Junior Treasurer, bringing my financial skills and passion for computer science to help the society thrive. In my previous job at a tutoring scene, I was entrusted to work on some accounting tasks such as tracking expenses, preparing reports, and managing budgets. I also have experience in using Excel, which I've used to automate spreadsheets, manage financial data, and create efficient systems. I will ensure society finances are well organized, transparent, and efficiently reported. As Junior Treasurer, I'll prioritize clear communication of our financial standing, regular updates to members, and ensuring all spending is justified and aligned with our goals. I look forward to collaborating with the Senior Treasurer to manage funds effectively, helping plan budgets for events, projects, and other initiatives. My aim is to maximize the value of our resources, streamline financial processes, and look for opportunities to grow the society's financial standing, such as securing sponsorships. I'm committed to learning, working as a team, and making sure the society's funds serve the best interest of its members. I'd be honored to have this position and look forward to running. Sincerely, Aileen Garib. Right. How do I move this back? Sorry? And then there's another candidate. Who's anyone else standing for a Junior Treasurer? Hello.
Hello, my name is Tracy, and I'm running for Junior Treasurer. I have previously worked managing funds for business before, so this would not be new to me. I also really hope to work well with the current treasurer and learn a lot of new skills. I will ensure that all our budgets are clear and transparent and everyone is happy, and I'll always work in everyone's best interest. I hope that all our events are well stocked with food each time, and it doesn't always have to be pizza, so we have a little change here and there. And I also want to deepen my knowledge in finance and just be the best treasurer you guys have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, any other candidates for Junior Treasurer? Godfrey? Anyone who last minute decided that they really want to be Junior Treasurer? Okay, I don't see any hands. Right, we're going to do a Q&A now. Could I please have every candidate who just gave a speech come up back here? We'll do a quick Q&A with all of you. So the way the Q&A works is if you have a question for one or two or all the candidates, raise your hand, we'll pass you a mic, and yeah, we'll have them answer.
Also, just to note, you cannot ask, please, can you finish your speech? We had a loophole like that at the AGM. That question is not allowed. So don't ask a leading question which will lead them to finish their speech, just to be clear.
Thanks. Right, okay, any questions? Yes, question. Mike. Is this for everyone, or? Could you repeat the question?
Which funds? Which fund? Sodas. Well, soft drinks make people fill up faster than pizza, so they're therefore more cost effective, but pizza is nicer, I think. So it's a bit of a committee vote needed there.
I'll be honest, I think it's quite obvious, but pizza is just a universal food. Who doesn't like pizza? Every normal, sane human being loves pizza. Come on. But soft drinks are nice as well, so it will be obviously served with pizza.
I think I'll do a little survey to find out what drinks everyone actually likes, and then find out how many people normally come, and then try and get 2 drinks or something per person, allocated like that.
I mean the allocation. I mean, the allocation of every drink and food is important. So just like this time, I've seen that the drink is, the juice is out of order. So we may improve next time. So allocate more money in the juice and instead of the soda. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Whoa. Right. A lot of questions. Yes. Either.
As a matter of fact, I do.
This guy's a fake junior, man.
And I've been the best honorary tech that CompSoc has ever seen. Keeping my position through every AGM and the EGM we have run. Pass that on to the...
Are we passing that on, or?
I wish I had the opportunity, but I wasn't born at that time. Maybe next life, I don't know.
Right. Yes, question. There's a lot of questions. Okay, we're gonna... Okay.
Our next question is nice.
Okay, couldn't really hear that. Please repeat your question.
What's the most important thing to spend more money on? And that's everyone.
So I think some SIGs, such as Game Dev SIG, are on the right. Have been on a sort of renewed rise and have on new leadership and now exploring new options. And so it's worth listening to the individual SIG leads, seeing how ambitious they are about increasing their SIG scope and seeing how much more they could do if they had more funding than previous years.
So obviously this would come to a case-by-case basis. Not all SIGs use as much money as other SIGs. Some are more self-contained, some need a bit more funding for it. So obviously we'll have to do a poll, we have to find out, we will have to see who gets more funding, who gets less funding. But I think everyone should have at least some base level of funding. Every SIG should have a base level of funding for this case.
I don't know every single society in CompSoc, but I think, yeah, similar to him, or do a poll or analyze how much money each society, each part is spending, and then depending on who spends more or who begs for more, then you just give them more money, essentially.
Yes, I think the most important is not the equality because every SIGs also have a different need in the fundings. So yes, so we can have some pool as they mentioned, so to understand every society need of the money. So basically.
Thank you. Hey, I'm gonna ask you the next question as the current treasurer. So I'm gonna give you a scenario-based question, something that actually happened. So you might know about InfBall, which is a ball that CompSoc organizes for the whole School of Informatics every year. Can you hear me properly? Okay. And we had this scenario at some point last year. I feel like something is going wrong with my... Okay, as long as you guys can hear me properly. So basically, InfBall always wants to have a bit more money to be able to reduce the prices for the tickets for all the students, because students don't want to pay too high prices. And we have another SIG that is organizing one of their big events, and something goes wrong in the budgeting, and they need more money. And it's urgent because their event is happening in a few weeks, and this happens. So how do you choose who to allocate more money to, whether to allocate more money to InfBall to help them lower their prices for the tickets, or whether to give the SIG the money so that they can run their event properly?
So I would be in touch with the SIG and see what has happened. Is the booking an essential thing that you need to make this payment by this time, in which case sort of credit score is affected, et cetera, et cetera. That always has to take priority if that is the case. The InfBall is not an essential price reduction, that's just a nice thing to add on. So if it's not essential, we skip that. If, however, it is possible to delay the funding on the SIG event, then it would be done on a case, but we'd look at what the SIG event is and how much the reduced prices in InfBall would actually affect the event.
I do agree that there is it depends on the urgency of the event. If, for example, as again said, credit score is on the line, I think then that INFBall should take a small loss on this one. But obviously, it also matters at what time it happens. If it happens, for example, in the beginning, in the freshers semester, or just a freshers time, then that would be a bit more of a dilemma because that's when most people will be signing up for the INFBall. However, if it's, for example, during like end of semester, let's say, not many people, much less people will be signing up. So like a sign-up membership would be just less needed of sorts. So that's why I'm saying that it really depends on the urgency of the situation and will be acted on accordingly.
So I'll try and like satisfy both of them. For the SIG, I'll like create a priority list and everything that is like urgent and needs to be done as soon as possible because they might not need all the money for like every single thing. There could be a way we could pay some of it later. So all the things that need to be paid as soon as possible, we'll pay that first, try and then make the things that are less urgent be paid later, then help the people at the ball and then try and like repay that so that both sides do get what they want and everybody's satisfied.
I do agree that the emergency and the emergency is important, that we should ask for that sake. But also we need to trace about the reason that why they suddenly have funding that is needed. Because we can't every time prioritize their emergency funding. So we need to know the reason. Is it the fault by the SIG team or by another uncontrollable reasons? Yes. Get it carefully.
Wait, I'll just finish off the question. Just to say, there was no correct answer to this question. I'll just say what happened last year. So what happened is we wanted to satisfy both events, so we made sure that INFBall had enough finance to be able to provide decent price tickets, and we also made sure that we could give the SIG that needed money just about the basic amount of money for them to be able to run their SIG. So that balanced out nicely, so we could do both without having to sacrifice one or the other. Okay, other questions?
Okay, we have time for one last question.
Oh, right, okay. Please, could you guys describe a time that you've worked with finances in a business kind of setting?
Anyone want to go first? Okay.
So, yeah. Like I mentioned, I have worked for a business and it was like a business owned by students, so we all worked together and we had to take a loan, which took some we had to pitch our concept to a set of people. Then they gave us a loan of about £1,000 and then we had to sell on our merchandise and then repay back the loan and we still be able to make a profit. So, and I was in charge of finances because everybody else in the team didn't like math, so they left it to me. So yeah, I have worked with not that large amount as this one, but enough to be able to be good at this. Thank you. Yeah.
So I've personally, let's just say, not worked with a company to do accounting. However, as I've already mentioned, I do accounting for business as my elective. So this will be an amazing opportunity for me to actually finally be able to apply the skills that I've learned in the elective that I've chosen into actual practical means, which would be an amazing opportunity for me. So it would be very nice.
As some of you may know, I'm involved in the Puzzle Solving Society. And at the very beginning of the year, that was what that looked like was in many ways being similar to a treasurer in something like CompSoc. We have a variety of different strands. We have crosswords, we have more number puzzles, we had socials. All of them needed to be organized by different people and needed funds allocated to them separately. It's a very similar event, quite a bit smaller scale than CompSoc, but it's the similar logic and similar processing.
Yes, and I have been a treasurer for a local organization, and to organize the funding to different activities like learning and the activities of volunteering and something like that. So in that case, we should know that because volunteering is something that is non-profitable. So we should find some way to optimize the cost, optimize the cost savings so we can spend less to help more people. And it is also very important for me to allocate my money efficiently. Yes.
I just want to say quickly that you don't necessarily need a business experience because we're not a company, we're all students. So the point of a junior treasurer role is also that you get training throughout the whole year and then are prepared to be the treasurer if you get elected again next year.
Just a quick one. And this is directed to one person and one person only. Cam, what year are you in?
I'm in a non-honours year, to be clear. It is
But-
my second year.
And Elisa, what is the goal of the junior treasurer?
So just to clarify, the junior treasurer is someone who is going to be trained to ideally be the treasurer next.
So the junior treasurer is hopefully going to be treasurer next year. And it's not to say that you can't do it in third year, but it's more, how aware are you of the workload in third year, and how would you be able to balance that if you're still involved with PuzzleSoc and Game DevSig?
So, for example, Puzzle Solving Society, there have been people that have stepped up, and I will be able to move away from that next year. There will be people who will be able to take on my responsibilities. A large part of what I aim to do in this role as I'm training up as junior treasurer is to reduce the workload of the treasurer, to streamline the process, and to make sure that everything is more easily done at a more convenient times. You don't have the same amount of crunch work if you don't need to reimburse people. So my goal here is to reduce the amount of work to make it a more manageable workload and to, yeah, I will have enough time at some point.
All right, thank you very much. No more questions. No, I said one more question, and that was it. We're out of time. Sorry, we have to move on. So thanks again to our junior treasurer candidates. Yes, please repeat your names once more.
Cameron Russell, but it's spelt quite funny, so it's got a K.
Arthur Sokolov or Rasputin, however you go by.
Tracy Olushina.
Winkin Chen. What are you doing?
All right, so thank you very much. On to first year representative. So for our first year representative, guys, please. We have a few more candidates, and then we'll move on to the voting. So for our first year representative candidate, I'd like to call, apologies if I butcher your surname, Kasper Szymanski?
Right, hello everyone, I'm Casper, my Discord name is Luxurious. Some of you may know me because I make a lot of shitposts and memes and I'm very funny, aren't I? I'm also wearing cat ears, as you may notice. You can ask about that later during questions. Anyways, I've been here for a little over a month and I absolutely love CompSoc. It's like a second home. And really, I want to share my experience with everyone, so that's why I'm running to be the first year representative. My main goal is really to widen the access to CompSoc where possible. I would like to see CompSoc, not only recruit from the informatics pool of first years, but also from, other courses like maths and art. It's already been happening with Game Dev SIG. I think we can do it with other SIGs, and SIGs are great for this because they cater to a wide variety of interests and things like that. I've had experience in rep roles and leadership roles, so I think I have what it takes. And overall, yeah, please just vote for me if you want more memes, more funny things, more fun and enjoyable events, someone who will listen to you, and if you ask me very, very nicely, I might wear these again. So, keep that in mind. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Next up, we have Hanso Lee, please.
Hello guys, I am Hyun-Soo Lee and you might know me as 314 Programs on Discord. I'm the developer behind the CompSoc game Elections that you can play on Discord on mobile right now. I just posted it. And my plan is represented through the game. I wish for every SIG to be represented as equals, every members to have equal powers and get representation. And my goals behind making that game was to show you guys how committed I am to my role. I spent 4 days making that game. I'll commit to this role. And my other plans involve getting students from other subjects to get on to join our CompSoc. For instance, I already called on art students to join Game Dev SIG as a committee. And for my final fun little plan, you guys can choose any game for me to make, and we can make it together as a community. Like, just ask me what to make, and I'll make it for you. Thank you, vote for me.
Thank you. By the way, that game has my face on it. I think I'm like one of the bosses. That was surprising. The end screen also says Vincent's killed, which is, yeah, nice. Right, next, please, Shlok Gupta.
Hey everyone, I'm Shlok. You might know me as Ace on Discord, and I'm running for the first year rep. Now, I'm not here to give you a list of promises that sound too good to be true. Instead, I want to share what I've learned from my past experiences and how I can use them to represent CompSoc. So, quick bit about me. As you might know, I currently run our first year Discord server with the help of other moderators, which comes with quite a bit of responsibility, while also allowing me to build a strong community. Back in school, I've also gotten elected class rep twice, and it wasn't just about showing up to meetings. It was about stepping up, organizing events for hundreds of people, and making sure things got done. So how did I manage all this? Well, here's a strategy I live by: COT, communication, organization, and time management. Whenever I got something thrown my way, I always planned out my cut. Trust me, it has saved me from a lot of last-minute disasters. So yeah, I plan to use all these qualities to be the first year rep you want. Thank you.
Thank you. Right, next up we have Archie Spiller.
Hi, I'm Archie. I'm running for first year representative. I think I'd be an amazing first year rep as I have great communication, listening to people, organising things and getting things done. If I was elected, I wouldn't make a game as cool as Karina's, but I would ensure that there was channels established so that first years can get their voices and ideas represented in events or, say, changes in currently running stuff. Forgot my speech. I'd also help to try run the Infball and the Hack the Burr to help alleviate stress on the current committee and make things run smoother. I hope that my speech has won your votes, given the admittedly tough competition tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Right, that's the end of the manifestos. Anyone running last minute? Hello. Wait, that's... Right. Name, please?
Owen.
Owen.
Hi, I'm Owen. I'm taking after Fergus and running last minute for no reason. We'll see how it goes. The competition's pretty good, so my chances are low, but hey. I have not looked into this role very much, but in the unlikely event that I do get elected, I'll try my best to be somebody you can all talk to, relay that information to the committee and try and help out as much as I can. I do have a little bit of experience in committees in the past. I have been a trustee of a charity for a couple of years, so that's about my level of expertise in this, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Name, please.
Sorry?
What's your name?
Hi guys, Manthan. People call me Manthan, Monte, Chugaha, Jug, go by everything basically. I'm also a last minute runner. Decided I'm gonna do this because basically someone dared me. Obviously, no social anxiety here. I have one strategy in life, that's YOLO. You only live once. I like doing cool shit. Sorry, pardon my language, but basically I wouldn't say I have connections, but I do have connections. Basically, if you vote for me, I'll try and make your life next year the best I can. That could be parties or SIG events or talks. I don't know, whatever you guys are into. I haven't done much research into this. All of this is improvised. I'm making it up as I go along. My legs are shaking, as you can see.
Thank you. Anyone else? Charlotte? Okay, if there's no more last minute first year rep candidates, could everyone please, who just gave a speech, come back up to the stage for questions?
There's a 4.
Okay, do you have any questions for first year reps? Oh my god, okay. Right, Martin, you want to pick?
Can you give me the mic?
Where is the, it's over there, disassembled.
Where's the mic?
Okay, I'll just do this first. Oh, no, please.
Okay, I've got 2 questions. First for Casper. You said you're a professional cat boy, but can you demonstrate your meow skill? Yes. Yes.
Listen up, because I'm only going to do this once. Meow. Take it back. Take it away.
The next question is for 3 and 4. What is your least favorite game to make? I'm gonna vote you just to make your least favorite game.
If anyone votes visual novel, I'm gonna lose it.
Nice.
If I do make one, I'll put him in.
What? What? No.
Hand that mic to the candidates. This will be the question.
Was that question answered? I got really confused.
That was answered.
Oh, that was, okay.
Fergus wants to ask it.
Okay, Fergus, please.
What is a monad? Yell it out. Yell it out.
Anyone? Okay.
Just a monoid in the category of endofactors.
What she said.
Anyone else?
Something that's very tasty in a wrap.
Anyone else? Oh, what's a monad? What's a monad? No? Yeah? No. Okay, thank you.
Questions?
Phil Wadler's favorite thing.
Greg. Or no, it's here, sorry.
Hey. Okay, I think I got a slightly more serious one. So first year is the most important year for getting new people into CompSoc. How are you going to ensure we get a diverse range of people into our society from the start? Thank you.
Wants to go first?
So, I hope you guys can tell by now that I'm not afraid to talk to people or address large audiences. Basically, everywhere I go, I try to talk to new people, and I basically talk about me, I talk about them, I try to find out what they're interested in, and if they don't like me or I don't like them, okay, well, I'm not going to see you again, so. CompSoc's obviously a huge society. It's a very diverse society. I'm sure there's a space for everyone in here. I would obviously tell them how good it is, how there's so many different SIGs in there. There's game dev, obviously. There's quant. There's a few others, but they're escaping my. There's AI. There's AI. There's AI. But yeah, so I would basically free advertise the SIGs, tell them about events we do, tell them about all the cool stuff we do and why we're the best and the biggest society in the University of Edinburgh.
As somebody who has no idea what they're doing, I'll do what I'm told by the committee.
The SIGs are by far the most attractive thing about CompSoc. It allows for weekly events that are consistently running. So I would try and advertise the SIGs as much as possible, find out, gauge general opinion of people to work out what people like, and then try advertise SIG and SIG events to encourage more people to join. Because if people are going to the SIGs, they're going to be joining CompSoc as a whole. And yeah, it's kind of what we want.
I personally believe the most important reason people would get scared off, like from joining informatics, like SIGs, is mainly because they think it's gonna be like something like coding and stuff, and they're gonna like, they don't know any of it. So I believe the main thing we need to advertise is that they don't need to know how to code. They can join without coding experience. They don't have to like learn all the, what they call creepy stuff, a new language. So yeah, I believe we need to advertise it so people feel welcome.
Well, on the topic of how we can get more like students to join CompSoc, well, I already got a bunch of art students into Game Dev 6 members by just going to art school and saying, hey, we are making games here. I think we need art students. Can you come? I think I can do that to a bunch of other subject courses as well. I'll be going to music society as well, maybe design. I'll be going around poking around all like this core subjects telling, hey, you want to join this? It doesn't require any coding requirements. And I'm pretty sure they'll come. Some will come, just like how the art students came into Game Dev 6.
My opinion is more or less an amalgamation of everybody else's, and that's not because I'm last, I've heard all of theirs, but also because I have an opinion about this. It was actually mentioned in my speech about growing CompSoc through first years, through widening access into CompSoc by getting first years, not just from the School of Informatics, but from other schools as well. Similar to what Archie and Hyunso here said, you know, it's real. CompSoc is CompSoc, right? It has the big scary computer word in it, but it doesn't have to be about programming. We have art students going to Game Dev SIG now. We can have, you know, math students who like cryptography joining things like SIGINT, obviously granted that they learn how to program and do CTFs. The whole point is that SIGs are a crucial aspect of CompSoc, and I think that, you know, by advertising them more and showing to other schools in the university that they can cater to very specific interests like cryptography, like game dev SIG, like competitive coding, we can get more people into those SIGs and hence more people into CompSoc.
Thank you. Next question.
Next question?
I promised Greg, please.
Greg, okay.
Hello, there has been a lot of talk, both in many of your speeches and especially in the answers to the previous question about, you know, dedicating a lot of thought towards SIGs and unity of SIGs. I don't really care about the unity of SIGs. I want each of you to name your favorite SIG. There is a correct answer.
Who wants to go first?
Favorite SIG, right? Oh. I think it's obvious I'm the newest committee of Game Dev SIG. Game Dev SIG is the best SIG! Who wants to go next?
I'm with the crowd, Game Dev SIG.
SIGINT for me.
I'm going to have to go with game dev SIG.
Even though I like game dev, I'm gonna go with quant-sec just because I like money.
Why did you stop here? I don't know. She wants to
Why
start.
Why didn't you mark down the line?
I'm assuming I can't have joint favorites, so I'm just gonna pick one. I'm gonna say Type SIG is my favorite SIG. See, there we go. The crowd is loving it.
Is that everyone?
Yes.
Wonderful.
You want a question? What's going on?
Why are you?
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
there's still questions. What is your question?
All right, 2 questions. Why wasn't any of your favorite SIGs assigned SIG? The SIG in newspaper environment SIG. You guys remember that one? Okay, and my second question. Okay, my second question is, what is the main problem that you're going to be expecting to face as a first-year rep, and how do you plan to go about doing that?
Wants to go first?
Okay, brilliant. Right, so one of the main issues I can envision as being the first-year rep is basically, I wouldn't say getting to know everyone, but like making sure that I am as approachable as possible. Because at the end of the day, it is what a first-year rep does, right? Like, yes, you have a big fancy title of first-year rep. Yes, you're on the committee, but it doesn't matter at all if people are, too scared or too scared to talk to you. I don't know why anyone would be scared of me, but if no one wants to approach you and talk to you about their issues with CompSoc, the way I would challenge that is just show myself as approachable. If you're in the CompSoc Discord, you probably already know me for all the funny little videos I make, and I can probably make more. The point is that, the main issue I see is people will be scared to approach first-year reps with their ideas, and they shouldn't be. And I will do everything in my power, as generic as it sounds, to encourage people to approach me, talk to me, so I can pass on their ideas and issues and get a response from them.
I share similar viewpoints to what Casper said. It's going to be hard for some people to approach first-year representatives due to their fancy title, but I think gradually I will be very active in the CompSoc community as posting games on Discord and discussing with other people to make myself more approachable. And I think another issue that I might be facing is how approachable this community itself is to other subject students. And to do that, to give everyone on introduction to maybe programming or computers for other year ones in other subject areas, I'll be giving little lectures on how you can code your first game. The game I made on Discord, I'm just going to start by dismantling it and showing the process of how I made it in very easy, digestible steps that everyone can understand it. So I want to increase the approachability of every SIG possible.
Now, as I said in my manifesto, I believe the most important role of first-year rep is to make events more welcome. I want to make when you walk into an event, you don't just feel like you're there. You have to belong there. You need to feel welcome. So I have been class rep twice in my school, and I know how one could make this happen. For example, I had a confidential policy where if someone contacted me about any feedback, it would have to be confidential. This would make sure people actually take the initiative to contact and make the society better.
I feel there's 2 main issues. As everybody's been saying, the approachability is a massive one. Making sure that everybody feels welcome and wants to actively attend the events. That is a massive thing. It's encouraging people who are maybe don't really think about CompSoc and think it's a bit to see actually there is something that they might find enjoyable, trying to encourage them to come and stay and have fun. And there's also the issue of trying to help out in general and making sure that I am an asset to not just specifically creating my own event, helping out the committee and making sure that CompSoc itself runs nice and smoothly.
Contrary to everybody before me, I think the most important thing isn't getting new people, but rather making sure everybody already here enjoys themselves at all the events and has somebody to talk to and ways to relay what they want to the committee. So I would more focus on the people already in the SIG and then have gaining more people into the SIG as secondary to that.
I agree with everybody here, especially with the competitor right beside me. But I think the most important challenge for CompSoc is not to get everybody events, it's just for everybody to have someone they can relate to. I don't want to be seen as someone who's a first year rep. I am a good leader, but no. I'm going to be one of you guys. Loads of people, in fact, talk to me about everyday problems. I'm a pretty good listener, and I just want to be there for everybody. Additionally, if some people have different hobbies or they want to try something new, if I'm a first-year rep, I'll do everything I can to find like-minded people like you and create a new SIG for you guys. But yeah, I think the main thing isn't to get new people into CompSoc, it's to find something for everybody who's already here.
Okay, can we get everyone that wants a question to raise their hand right now, and then no more questions will go out after that. Okay, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6.
Okay, for the sake of time, from now on, I'm limiting responses to 30 seconds.
What's something that CompSoc does that you think you could make better if you don't like it already?
Who wants to go first?
I think one thing that CompSoc does very well is SIGs. I've explained this several times, but I do think that SIGs are probably one of the most attractive, if not the most attractive part of CompSoc, because it is the community. But one thing I would make better about SIGs is to hopefully see if we can, this is going to sound a bit weird, increase the cooperation between SIGs so that it's not just, CompSoc and then all the separate branches of SIGs. It's more like SIGs are, bricks in a wall that is CompSoc, and they're working together and they're helping each other. Because at the end of the day, it's yep, that.
I do agree that the SIGs are the most popular attraction that CompSoc has to offer. But I think something that CompSoc can improve is just the approachability. When I mentioned joining CompSoc community to our students, they just heard the word computers and most of them ran away. So I had to explain, guys, you can draw art, we're not gonna judge you by coding. So I feel like this community needs to be more approachable in general.
Okay, the first point I want to make is feedback. People always refrain, not all, people often refrain from giving honest feedback because they think it might only be relevant to them, or it might just, they're the only one who feels it and they're going to be looked down upon. But I want to change that. And the second thing I want to change is that I've received, people have told me that they don't like Papa John's pizza and they would prefer Domino's pizza instead. So I'm gonna, but obviously we're gonna vote that.
I think the question was what I would improve in CompSoc, and I feel like what I could improve specifically as a first year representative is trying to get more first years involved, as I feel like now the freshers events have all finished, it seems for a lot of people that the events and SIGs and stuff are kind of these elusive things that they don't really know if they want to join or show up to. So I feel like I would try and help encourage people to continue to show up to these events, even if they've never shown up to some before, and try out new things. I'll cut myself off before I get cut off myself.
This might just be because I didn't do my research, but I at least don't know probably half the SIGs. And SIGs are the main part of CompSoc. So I would say advertising all the SIGs all year, all semester, all year, so that people can continually find new SIGs?
I'm going to go something a bit different here, but I think CompSoc could benefit from a little more workshops or collaborations from different companies. Like, I like Star Wars, I like Iron Man, I like working on cool tech. I'm actually working on a secret project right now, guys, but it's classified. But yeah, I think if I was a first-year rep, I would try get companies and startups to do cool workshops with us. Oh, guys, that's my point.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so as first year rep, you'll be organizing a lot of events, working with a lot of people. So my question is, what would you do if you're like in a scenario, say that you're working with someone, you're organizing an event with them, and the other person hasn't done the work that they were supposed to do, or they haven't gotten back to you with the stuff that they were supposed to organize? How would you approach that situation? What would be the steps that you would take?
Let's go first.
If I was in a situation where I needed somebody to finish up some work that they've not managed to do, I would reach out to them, see if there's a reason that they've not done it, see if it's something I can help with, help fix, alleviate, or make it easier for them. If I further can't do that, I'd see if there's anybody else who would be able to help me with, catching up on the work that they needed to get done, and generally and then see if that isn't possible, I'd try to achieve the work myself. But the original point would genuinely be to see if it's something that I can help them with.
I think the best way to deal with scenarios like that is to try and prevent them, to try and talk to people who you're trying to work with often, so that if the work which needs done isn't getting done, you catch it early and you can find somebody else, or you can give them some help so the work is done on time rather than having something last minute which needs done.
Yeah. Like these guys said, I'll try catch it not being done early on, try outsource it, or try help them in any way I can. I'm a pretty hard worker. I pulled an all-nighter last night. I slept at 6 today, guys, 6 a.m., not 6 p.m. And I'm still standing. But yeah, so I would do all the work.
Now, I think that such a situation could only arise if you're not in contact with the person for a long time and you email them and they're like not responding, or they're like, oh, I haven't done the work. So I think we should regularly be in contact with the person, checking up every now and then, so we make sure the progress is being done and they're like motivated all the time. So this would actually prevent the issue from about the work not being done from happening.
Well, for me, I think there's like multiple steps here. Like step 1, if I can still contact them, I'll contact them about work. Step 2, I contacted them and they're like busy. Well, I'll have to find a substitute. Or like there's the layer 3 where they still haven't contacted me, they cannot do it much, and I have tried contacting other people to help me, but I couldn't. Then in that case, I'll just do all the work by myself. I think I can handle it. I made my game in 4 days. I think.
Again, similarly to as was said, I would try and stay in frequent contact with a person, just where possible. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We all have problems. We all have issues that suddenly arise. If I got wind that something like this is happening, I would immediately reach out, try and see if I can help them. If they're denying help or if they're not responding, I would substitute for them. I would try and get basically all hands on deck to get the event to go. It's all about the events here, isn't it?
Next question.
Okay, so I've got my question and then the one from the online chat. So I'll do my one first. This is specifically for Hyun-Seo Lee, if that's correct. You didn't really talk about CompSoc itself in your so far in terms of you're a first-year rep. your responsibility isn't specifically SIGs, right? So usually that's for the VP. What I'm wondering is how you're going to get first years interested into CompSoc as a society itself. So.
Isn't that a repeat of the same question?
Did we not have this?
How are you going to get first years into CompSoc?
I think the question was specifically other than making games.
Like it's like you didn't really talk about representing the first years and something that's not relevant to the SIGs, right? That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Okay. Got it.
Well, a method of, I think, getting first years into CompSoc is basically by just directly talking to them. And I think a good way to do this is by making more fun, easier, approachable events that we can do for first years and letting them gather up and letting them just get the first taste of CompSoc. I think by then they'll be interested enough to start joining in other events.
Okay, thank you. And the other question from the online chat, this is for all of you, is what's your opinion on refried beans? Go.
Surprisingly enough, I've searched this up today what refried beans are. And I think they're pretty tasty. I've had them before. I think they're quite nice. Not something I'd eat every day, but I would eat them if I had to.
We'll stick to 10 seconds. That was under 10 seconds.
I think they're all right. I just think they're all right. I don't have a special opinion.
I haven't personally eaten them as much, but my friends do like them, and I've seen them eat them quite a bit. But yeah, no special opinion about them.
I think they're amazing in burritos, and yeah, burritos are amazing, so they're amazing.
I'm not sure if I heard that right, but
Refried beans.
green
Refried beans.
refried beans. Oh, okay, yeah, they're good. They're good.
I don't think I've had them before, but if somebody likes them, they can like them. I'm sure they're quite nice. I'm open to cuisine.
Okay, for the sake of time, we'll have to do one more last blitz question. I'll give 15 seconds for each person.
It's a blitz question. It's a one-word answer I want from you. Describe your leadership style in one word. Go for it. Who wants to start?
Legendary.
Relaxed.
Cooperative.
Motivated.
Committed.
Inspiring.
Thank you very much. And lastly, before we send you off, please repeat your names.
Casper.
Thank you, first year reps. All right. Right. The form has been sent to your emails. If you have a membership, you should have gotten an email. If you did not get an email, please come up to Godfrey to submit your vote. 15 minutes to vote, so please pull out your phone, vote, and we'll go on
I
with
think
our day.
the online mic is still working, so I hope you online people are still hearing me. You should also have gotten an email into your student email that you've used to sign up for USA, for the USA membership. If you don't have it, please DM me on Discord or ping me in the general chat, and I'll get to it. I'll repeat that again. If you did not get the vote link yet, please message me or ping me in the CompSoc general chat. Okay, have fun voting.
We need to get up. We need help to back up. We are back, guys. We are so back. We can do some interviews real quick. I want to do one interview with one random person
Sure.
for entertainment.
Okay, is this on? Did we check the chat? Is this working? Is it definitely working? We're not having a fucking mess up again? Can someone in the chat in Discord say that they can hear me? Can someone hear me? Can someone hear me? Come on. We're not hearing shit. Wait, hold on. I'm going to YouTube. Okay. It's on. Right. Okay. Okay. Chris. Hello. How did you find the speeches today?
Good.
Who was your favorite?
Good, sir.
That's what we like to hear.
Hell yeah.
Game Dev Sig represent. Hell yeah. RJ, come here. How do you think?
Shadowboxing in the background. I'm very distracting.
We were having a good time. Right. How did you feel that your performance was today?
I feel like I messed up the speech. You can't have anything, but I feel like I pulled it back in the question, so fingers crossed here.
How are the emotions feeling? They're feeling driving hard.
But whatever. Have some iron brew, it'll calm everything down.
You know what would have made it more calm? Tenants, if I was allowed to bring it.
It really would have.
See?
They would have kicked us out.
That's good to know, actually. Right. Okay. Cameron, how did you enjoy my question to you during the?
I really did enjoy it. Yeah, it was a really, really nice question. I really appreciated it. It helped me talk about things that I'm doing and how I'm a competent member of Puzzle Solving Society. I've been able to do well there. I've been able to secure a future generation for Puzzle Solving Society, and I'm able to guarantee that to the next generation without having to be there myself, showing I'm responsible and capable and a good leader.
All right, that's enough from him. Right. I don't want him to be taken away from game. Assassinated his time. Hello. So, how do you feel that there's now going to be a video of you meowing on the CompSoc YouTube channel for eternity now? Meow. He said he was only going to do it once. He said it.
That is for Archie. Archie wanted it.
Cat. Come here. No. Okay. Cat. Here we have Vincent in completely stressed. Oi, camera. Here we have Vincent over here looking incredibly stressed. I'm not talking, I'm just commenting. It's like a wild. Put the camera on him. Vincent. Here he is in his stress mode. I'm just here to antagonize him, even though we have, 10 minutes till we have to get out of here. Have everyone voted now? No, we haven't. We haven't even got everyone voted.
How many viewers do we have? Well, okay, it's dropping
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
We gotta do the results. How many more people are voting?
Have you voted?
Yes, I have voted for the correct leader.
Which is?
If I remember the name.
You don't remember the name of the person you voted for? Ah, okay. Nice. Game Dev Seg represent. Have you guys voted? Okay. Can we please hurry up with the voting? We're gonna get kicked out. Artie.
Yes.
How did you find the speeches today, and who did you vote for first year rep?
All the speeches were really interesting, but honestly, the questions are where I really made my decisions. I wouldn't want to reveal who I voted for first year rep for fear of reprisals by the other candidates. It's not a very safe voting environment, CompSoc.
I do have a gun.
Okay. Are you ensuring election integrity?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tomas, how did you find the elections today? What was your thoughts on the performance of the candidates?
It was extremely interesting. I think this one has been like the top number 1 or 2 cringe most moments in CompSoc. Definitely worth watching. This is one that we're going to keep in our hearts. We're definitely going to rewatch it, are we not? Yeah, go CompSoc.
Oh yeah, go CompSoc. What was the best moment in this election?
Ooh, I don't know. It's hard to pick. It's either the cat ears or just people not knowing what a monad is.
Someone answered the monad.
Yeah, I wonder if that was planted. Who knows?
We'll never know. So, We're almost done with the voting, so we'll have the results very, very soon. Hopefully within 2 minutes. Let's check out. How close are we? We're very close. I think we're down to the last 3 people. How long does it take? I thought it took.
Longer than 8 minutes. We have to take the results, throw them in the program.
Are they going to be posted on Discord?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this just in. We're not actually getting the result right now in the live stream. What we can do is can we run the live stream outside?
Not really.
What if we do it on on Instagram Live? We can do it on Instagram Live. I have the Instagram. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Go and follow the CompSoc account on Instagram. Okay, everyone. Oh, okay. Hi. Right. Everyone. So we're not going to be able to announce the results in this room right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to pack up. We're going to get out. Whilst that's happening, the algorithm is going to be run because we have to be out of here by 9. And then what we're going to do is if we all meet outside there, we're going to announce them there. And what are we doing? We'll announce them there. And for those of you online, we'll do it on Instagram Live at _soc, I believe. And then it'll also be on Discord. Yeah, awesome. Right. Are we ending the live stream? Right. Thank you very much for coming. We'll just be on Instagram Live within 10-15 minutes, and we'll have the results to you very there. Thank you for tuning in.